Right, I had a question about overwintering the bird of paradise. And I've got a few different types here. We've got the giant white bird of paradise and the standard orange and blue bird of paradise, and I've got a gold one as well. But I treat them all exactly the same. You have to bear with me. I haven't had a chance to come in here for a week or so, so there's probably a bit of foliage I need to cut back. But yeah, so the bird of paradise itself, I've got it in a situation. This is a summer house which is just stacked out full of plants at the moment. This is in a south facing position, so we've got two big windows and a door, so it lets in plenty of light, and we've got a roof light as well, if you like. It's clear panels on the roof in the centre section, bubble wrapped in. It's fully insulated on the outside with an 1.5 inch foam insulation, so that does a good job of keeping the frost at bay. But I do have a small heater running as well, just to keep it that kicks in at 4 degrees, so it drops below 4. That'll just kick in and just stop it from getting a frost in here, and just keeping that temperature just above the freezing level. And obviously it circulates a bit of air while it's at it. So that's the crucial thing. The bird of paradise, whether it be, like I say, the white giant bird or your standards, I treat exactly the same. As long as they don't get a frost, they seem to be okay. They'll sit there pretty much dormant. They will grow a little bit. I do keep them on the dry side. I probably only water them once or twice over the winter when they're really bone dry. And the same goes for a lot of these plants in here. Bird of paradise itself, but they don't have the problem. They've got thick, almost rubbery like leaves, which so they do a fairly good job of retaining moisture. They don't lose a lot of moisture through their leaves, especially when it's cold. So that water is not an issue. You could probably let them dry out for a month or so at a time, depending on the temperature. But like I say, because this is sort of south facing with the windows and door, that does warm up when the sun's out. And we don't always get a lot of sun in the winter, but when we do get a sunny day, that will warm up. Maybe, I don't know, depending on how long the sun's out for, you could get 10-15 degrees in here. But I mean, obviously in general that'd probably be a similar temperature to outside. On a dull day it might only be 5-6 degrees. So the objective is not to keep them growing over winter. If you want to keep them in full growth, you bring them inside and keep them as a house plant, and they're quite happy near a window, good light, that they'll grow away quite nicely. So yeah, in conclusion, easy to look after. If you want them in full growth, bring them indoors. If you just want to keep them ticking over and you ain't got space indoors for them, I don't know about a greenhouse, because it's going to be a lot colder. This is, like I say, insulated, this summer house, and it's absolutely crammed full of palms, bananas, all sorts, alocasias, and everything gets the same treatment. I keep everything dry, and I've done it for the last couple of years and never had anything die on me. So is it ideal? No. It would be nice to have it warmer and keep them growing a little bit, but at the end of the day, you do what you need to do, and this for me works. And also, when spring does come along and we get the more sun and slightly longer days, it gets everything going real early, as would in a greenhouse or whatever. But that just keeps that nighttime temperature up a little bit higher as well, so you don't get that cool drop at night. So you could, if you've got a attached garage with a window, or a shed which is in a sheltered position, you could effectively bubble wrap a small area there near the window and do a similar thing. I mean, I'd leave that up to the individual, how they sort of deal with that situation. But for me, this summer house is not used in the winter. It's used for storage, and I've got all my storage behind. There's another metre or so behind the white screen in there. That's just there to reflect a bit more light. But yeah, I've got all my sort of summer furniture stacked up behind there. So yeah, everything's crammed in. I'm hoping to move a fair few of these plants into the polytunnel when that's up and running, which I'm in the process of doing today and over the next week. So once I'm happy that's up and secure, then I will move some plants out of here into there, namely some of the more cool hardy palms and whatever takes my fancy really. I just need to make some space, so anything that's going to take a little bit more damp, because the polytunnel will get condensation, it will be a lot damper environment, even though it's going to be cooler as well. But I mean, it will heat up during the day again if you get the sun, but it's going to still be a lot more humid. So anything that will take the humidity. And for an example, I've got some sable palms selection here, so they'll be fine in cool, damp conditions. So that'll be something I can move into the polytunnel, and maybe some of the hardier bananas, not the insects. But yeah, so I'll be able to move a good fair few plants out of here, because to be fair, it's a struggle moving in here. I can literally just get in the door and that's it, and that's going to be awkward if I need to water. So sort of update, sort of answering a question for a viewer, and I hope that covered everything. Thanks for watching.